Hello. Oh, hello. This is Teresa coming back at you. Been a long time since I've made a video. The last videos I made, I was just devastated. I got some very nasty comments and um, threatening and just downright terrible from so-called Christian people. But this is not the video I'm going to make. I'm making a video that's something that's very, very, oh, it's a menace to society. The disciplines that goes on in our schools. Now, something that is very concerning to most parents. And I am going to be more relating more to the African Americans, which I choose to say black, but this is what it says in this paper that I had printed out. Um, it was something that was written in the Chicago Tribune in 2007. I'm going to read just a little bit of it and talk about it. It's talking about school discipline tougher on African Americans. Hold on, I forgot to turn my TV down. Thank you. I just turned it off. Seen it before. Okay. School discipline tougher on African Americans. Okay. In the average New Jersey public school, African American students are almost 60 times as likely as white students to be expelled for serious disciplinary infractions. In Minnesota, black students are suspended 6 times as often as whites. In Iowa, blacks make up just 5% of the statewide public school enrollment, but account for 22% of the students who get suspended. 50 years after federal troops escorted 9 black students through the doors of an all-white high school in Little Rock, Arkansas, in a landmark school integration struggle, American public schools remain as unequal as they have ever been when measured in terms of disciplinary sanctions such as suspensions, expulsions, according to the little notice data collected by the U.S. Department of Education for the 2004-2005 school year. In every state but Idaho, a tribute analysis of the data shows black students are being suspended in numbers greater than would be expected from their proportion of the student population. In 21 states, Illinois among them, that disproportionately is so pronounced that the percentage of black suspensions is more than double their percentage of the student body. And on an average across the nation, black students are suspended and expelled at nearly 3 times the rate of white students. Now, I am a testified to this. Even at all, practically 99% of the black students and majority are black teachers, there's still that problem. Of course, you're not suspending any more blacks than whites because it's not more whites there, but the black students are still being suspended more than they should. And I want to know, why are you suspending them? What are you teaching that child by suspending them? And they give them more reasons to suspend them. Now they have this thing where you can't bring your cell phone to school. Okay? Now, 1 out of 2 students are going to have a phone. the what is the problem? You can't let them know that little things like that is going to stop them from getting a needed education. Now, why are you going to suspend somebody for a whole year for doing anything that was threatening or violent? You're going to suspend a child for getting smart with you? What child, especially what black child, don't have a mouth on them? We all wish our children weren't so mouthy, but that is not reality. So with this, I am going to establish a campaign to have the whole school system reconstructed. Because from the beginning, when all this school curriculum and what's involved in school and how it's maintained, what age, and all the whole construction was all founded by unlearned, and there weren't no black people involved for sure. People. And can't we see that that is not working? We would not have all these killings and all these gang-related activities going on and all these terrible parents if we had better schools. Now, I am writing up a formula that I am going to guarantee will get us ahead as a family, as a community, as a state, as a country. Because it don't make sense that our children are being left behind. Ever since they came out with that No Child Left Behind, our kids have been left behind. We are so sick and tired of these people trying to tell us what's good for our kids. And it's about time for somebody to take into consideration who we are and what we need. So many people got their hands in the cookie jar. We need to close that cookie jar and put what's best for our children first. Now, let's go on to this statement here. No ethnic group is disciplined at such a higher rate. The federal data show Hispanic students are suspended and expelled in almost direct opposition to their populations, while white and Asian students aren't. Yet black students are no more likely to misbehave than other students from the same social and economic environments. Research studies have found some impoverished black children grow up in troubled neighborhoods and come from broken families. And that's another thing. Our schools are not taking that into consideration enough. They're really not. And these ones are leaving them less equipped to conform to behavioral expectations in school. While such social economic factors contribute to the disappropriate discipline rates, researchers say that poverty alone cannot explain disparities. Now, it has a lot to do with the schools. I am blaming the schools first, then the parents. Now, just to iterate a little bit of what I am proposing in my new school system. For one thing, 12 years of school is not long enough. I am proposing that when a child starts school, the first 2 years should be geared at getting that child to become who they are. Finding out what they know. Finding out their natural abilities. Finding out what makes them click, what makes them happy. Helping them to develop social skills. Keeping them in a classroom with the same teacher for 2 years, maybe two teachers, for 2 years will give them the ability to build a relationship with not only other students but also with adults. And also that teacher would be more accountable, more responsible. You can work more with the teacher parent. And I'm telling you, that child would be more in tune to learning. And you could gear their education and their learning skills more appropriate for that child. Every child should be an individual. You know. And I'm proposing that all schools have parenting classes. That should be mandatory. Because believe me, us parents are not being heard enough. We're not being taught how to deal with our children. Because see, your children at home and at school can be two different people. Now, when you send your kids to school, you are sending them into an environment where they have to deal with all these different other students and their issues and their sometimes domineering attributes. And then they come home changed, not always for the better. And you have to learn how to deal with that. And it helps you to learn what your kids are dealing with through the parents. Because you learn a lot about the students by their parents. And when you can get the parents together and they can learn from each other. And then you find out that you're not the only one going through this. You find out a lot. And I'm learning that the teachers know sometimes more about your child than you do. And that's why we need to get back more to the parent-teacher relationship. So that's a few that I'm working on. Because we need to remember, times have changed. Our children have changed. Because for one thing, they have too much to deal with. Now, because they need to learn how to use this new technology in a productive way. Because if you look at it, you got these phones, cell phones with cameras that do a little bit of everything. You can get on the internet with these cell phones. And what are they doing? 9 out of 10, these kids are looking at sexual gratification internet websites. They're showing pornographic emails and texts. And that's because they have not learned how to use their brain. in a functional way. We left our kids alone and tried to turn them into something they're not meant to be. Because I do believe that by the time a child is 2 years old, they are developing their own natural self, own natural abilities that we are not expanding on. And sometimes they don't get that at home because both parents are working, or both parents are involved with something else, or they're in a place where there's nobody to look after them. And by no way am I saying that teachers need to take over the parent role. No, they need to be teachers. And they need to be teachers mind, body, and soul. Teachers need to have a dress code. Teachers need to be accountable for their actions outside the classroom. When you're a teacher, when you decide to become a teacher, you need to know that your life has become a teacher all the time. There's no 9 to 5 being a teacher. That's why if you don't want to do that role, then you need to find you another job. Because we are out here to try to teach our kids to be productive, responsible, loving, kind individuals. Now, all the stuff that's going on between teachers and students, that would not be going on if these teachers were guided in the right way and looked at their students in a different light. And these students would not be walking around here, especially these junior high and up, walking around here with these low-cut shirts and these tight shirts and jeans and high heels. No. When they talking about dress code, maybe, sometimes. The teachers need dress codes too. And it's a shame. It's a shame that our kids are being misled. And it's a shame that it is still so much racism and neglect being done in these schools. It's time for us parents to get together and put an end to it. They took study hall out of schools. They took the extra things for the kids to do. They took PTA. I don't even, you rarely even get parent conferences. What is going on with these schools? What is happening? And then these adults, these people that run in the schools, they are becoming thieves and sexual predators because we letting them get away with it. We let our teachers be teachers 9 to 5. No, 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 no. You are teachers 24 hours a day. So I'm going to continue my advocacy of getting rid of this school system that's not working. And it's a shame that the schools are being ran one way in one city and ran another way in another city. And that, what is that? Okay. Okay. But thank you for listening. And please subscribe. Please leave me some comments. And please let me know if you want to become a advocate for this change of school system. I need names. I need numbers. We need to get this ball on. We need to get this ball going. It's time. Thank you. I appreciate you listening.